Grand evening, everyone. It is Monday, August 10th, 2026, and we have some new breaking news. We've had a massive earthquake in Colombia. We have more developments with the war, World War III that is, not the Iran war, it's World War III. And oil is skyrocketing as the strategic petroleum oil reserve is running out. We're going to talk about all of that and more here tonight. I also have a slightly different format here tonight, and I'd like to remind everyone this is initially a live stream recording that is posted to my YouTube channel and right on the X page we're about to view as well. I am, of course, the channel owner, Phil, or Philip, that is my name, and it has been a very busy week recently. A lot of NATO activity, as we talked about recently, that was very concerning and a very historic development. The Russians are getting more involved when it comes to NATO, especially in the European theater. So we are going to start with the news more organized now. Let's see here. Hopefully that looks well. Different format, as I've said. I've changed things up a bit here tonight. So, we're starting right here at the bottom. Air Canada has cancelled all flights to Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, or Emiratis, some people say, until 2027 at least. So, well, jet fuel will likely run out by then too, so there will be no flights flying anywhere by that time really as well, I predict. So, we also have this here from the Insider Wire. Also a very interesting bit of news. So Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, he was the former president, certainly is not now. That's debatable if he even was. It's very debatable, we'll leave it at that. So he's had cancer for a while, and it has now spread to his bones, causing significant pain, as you would think cancer spreading to the bones would. So the former president has cancer that has spread to his bones. Hopefully they could still do something to help him and he doesn't die from cancer that has spread even to his bones. It seems likely that it is too late because it has spread to his bones. Now, maybe there's some kind of miracle cure and miracle overall that happens that he somehow recovers. So some people could even pray for Joe Biden, of all people. It's still a good thing to pray for people and things that are dealing with those situations. Israel is preparing for a potential independent military action against Iran. So, if there's a deal or not, if something's coming up like that, Israel will go ahead and do their own thing, their own independent military action nonetheless. So if there's some kind of deal that comes up, or like the Memorandum of Understanding, Israel will still take independent military action against Iran, that is, and likely its allies such as the Houthis, maybe what's left of Hamas, and let's see, there's not too many of them left. Hezbollah. I think Israel actually struck Hezbollah and Lebanon earlier. So it's definitely escalating as for that now as well. We also have some very accurate recent news here from BRICS and Nostra. So the global economic collapse is happening now. Let's see if I could view this here. It says Iranian officials worried that the U.S. blockade will cause economic collapse. Okay, I saw this recently. That means economic collapse not just for Iran, though for the U.S. as well, and the rest of the world, that is. A global economic collapse indeed. I expected this to happen over a year ago. Not over a year ago, years ago. It's been taking quite a while for the economy to totally collapse, the global economy, that is. Though the global economy is beginning to collapse, it is very evident. I even saw a recent statistic that people 30 and under, at least half of them or slightly more, are living with family to this presently. Also, the price of everything right now is higher than ever before. The price of oil brings all of that up as well. It's connected to oil, since the logistics, there's a lot of logistics required to get things to the stores and to get products in boxes. There's a lot of logistics. So the price of oil is very much so tied to everything else. There's a lot of logistics involved when it comes to getting products in stores and fuel where it needs to get to. So the jet fuel is running out. Oil is absolutely skyrocketing because that is one of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve is at its lowest point since 1983. It's even lower than that now. That might be a slightly old statistic, maybe a month or so old. It's even lower than that now. They just finally put that out in the more mainstream media news now. We also have the Pentagon declaring a crisis. The U.S. Defense Secretary issued an ultimatum for U.S. defense companies to submit a plan for the aggressive expansion of missile production within 21 days. And that was from 2 days ago. So the Pentagon wants more missiles produced, aggressively so, as fast and as soon as possible. The Pentagon wants more missiles produced. And it takes a long time to build those and get them out there. It is a difficult thing. We also have this here. President Trump is reportedly willing to end the Iran conflict, as they call it. It's World War III. Though he thinks he could just end World War III without a nuclear deal if Iran fully reopens the Strait of Hormuz. That's also from the Wall Street Journal. So that's from Leading Report and the Wall Street Journal, and that's what President Trump himself has said. So the only thing, one of the only ways that Iran will do that is if President Trump concedes more now. They are now saying that the Strait of Hormuz will be closed until at least the end of his presidency. So, which they don't fully decide that. They are much more likely to get nuked than the Strait of Hormuz staying closed for that long. So that's not going to happen. And here is further evidence of that exact thing. President Trump says he has a surprise for us. He says, "You will find out what happens with Iran." So everyone is going to, quote unquote, find out what happens with Iran. This could be some kind of ridiculous peace deal and full concession, or this could be a sign of total intensification where President Trump orders the military to target more critical infrastructure and the Iranian power grid and many other key strategic targets all throughout Iran. That's what that could mean. We have a city in California. I think it's called Soy Sun City. So a cyber attack has hit California. California has declared a state of emergency earlier today after a big cyber attack that happened there. So it says here, cyber attack has hit a California city, and this time critical public safety systems were caught in the middle. Malicious software compromised Soy Sun City's government computer network, impacting systems used for 911 routing, police and fire dispatch, city records, and other services. Officials responded by shutting down the city's entire IT network, the computer systems connecting departments across the city government, to contain the attack and preserve evidence. Emergency calls are still getting through after being routed through the Solano County Dispatch Center, but the city's online services and internal operations have been disrupted. Now the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and California emergency officials are involved as investigators work to determine exactly what happened. This comes as cyber attacks targeting critical infrastructure across the U.S. are already raising concerns. A city under a state of emergency. Its government computer network shut down. And a federal investigation now underway. Then he asked Michael Bradbury, anyone in or around Soyson City noticing disruptions? I'm sure they are, after he said all of that. That's a strange question. That's a question so he would get a lot more comments. So we had a very serious, very large cyber attack there. So, state of emergency in California after a cyber attack in at least one city. We also have had some water systems in several states, as I've talked about recently. I knew that was occurring recently as well. So several states' water systems have been cyber attacked. Now a city in California gets directly cyber attacked. And that is a massive breach of national security. And we will see how all of these agencies respond and how President Trump responds, how the military responds. We will see what happens. It's strange that President Trump has not said much about that. I don't think he did yet, which is highly unusual. He doesn't want everyone knowing these certain things to reduce panic. That's why he lies so often and doesn't say a lot of things for operational security, for national security reasons. He often lies, and he often doesn't say a lot of what's really going on if he truly does know. Then we have this here from Raw News Alerts. Raw, I think, no, it's actually not. It might be Raw News Alerts. From Raw's Alerts and the Washington Post. They report that an Iranian assassination threat prompted President Trump, to secretly leave Turkey on an alternate military aircraft while Air Force One was used as a decoy. So they used this brand new Air Force One as a decoy, and he left on a different military aircraft, which is not always a good idea. And the Air Force One is likely the better aircraft overall. It's not almost likely, it's almost certainly the better aircraft, Air Force One. So it's very strange that they put him on a separate aircraft. While Air Force One has like doomsday capabilities, it's very fast. It's one of the best planes there is. And they put him on a different one that was used as a decoy. No, they put him on a different one while Air Force One was used as a decoy, which the other one still has a very high likelihood of getting shot down first. So that was a strange call when Air Force One is a much better plane overall to be on, and it probably has flares and everything that it could deploy. So that was unusual. Very strange call by the, I suppose it was the Secret Service. Maybe even with the CIA there. And as I said earlier, the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve has fallen to the lowest level since 1983. This was like almost old news now. This was potentially from news that's a month or more old. It's even lower than that now. President Trump said it was going to run out within the next month or so, about that time ago now. So the Strategic Petroleum Reserve is at its lowest level, more realistically, in a longer time than even 1983, many years ago. So when that runs out, or when it gets low enough even, when it gets very close to running out, that's when things stop getting to stores, and that's not long after that is when things become much more chaotic, much more anarchy occurs after the third day of nothing getting to the stores. The shelves go empty. So it goes from some empty shelves to all empty shelves, nothing in the store, because everyone starts buying it a lot more than panic buying. By the third day, there's nothing in the stores. By the end of that third day, it results in total anarchy. That is all soon to happen. It's just mathematically a matter of time. It's a matter of time until the SPR runs out or low enough to the point where that happens, and more chaos starts to happen, then unrest, and then after that third day of nothing getting there, they all go bare, and it results in, as I said, total anarchy. So please keep on preparing for all of these situations, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Here's the price of oil here. Some reason it is on the lower side. One of them is WTI. Brent is $87, so it's going up now. It's going up again. I think it went up $5, over $5 in 24 hours. So oil is absolutely skyrocketing now. Also, as we just talked about, the SPR is running out entirely. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve, that is. Then there's the price of metals right now. Not a sponsor. So that's the price of metals. So we have silver at $66. That's going up. Platinum's going up. It's over $1,700. And gold is at over $4,000 an ounce still. $4,400 an ounce. It's over that amount. $4,423 an ounce. So all the metals are going up, oil is going up, the price of everything is higher than ever before. Though the metals are getting to their all-time highs again as well, as this war much more intensifies. So please keep on preparing for all of these things, especially when it comes to the strategic petroleum reserve running out. I'm telling you all now, when that happens, there will be total anarchy within that same week. Even if it gets around that level, a lot of the bottom of that will be strictly for, say, military and government use. So please keep on preparing for all of these things, and the nuclear escalation, the escalation with Russia, that is, more specifically, the potential for nuclear war is now higher than ever before, and that is not often talked about. The mainstream media does not. So please keep on preparing for nuclear war. Please keep on preparing for World War III. Please keep on preparing for the SPR to run out, because I heavily emphasize, the final time, there will be total anarchy when the SPR runs out. And that is exactly what it is doing now, not an if. That is what it is doing now. So, a lot going on. I always recommend physical assets, and especially some of what I've just shown there, those precious metals. Pretty much all of them, and more other physical assets, like storable foods and freeze-dried foods. So please keep on preparing overall, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I will be back soon with further news, personal analysis, and recommendations, and much more, if I've missed some there. So, as I always say on here, I will be back soon. Before I even get to that, I almost didn't. I will be back soon, I would say Wednesday evening around 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time. It is after 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time.